Notorious, so notorious.
It's Friday night, and the Posse's back. Deep dives, local vibes, and headlines that matter, or totally don't. So crack a beer, crank it up. This is the NFNP.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Like, nobody's really listening, so what does it matter what we're talking about? Let's just hit record and go right into it.
We'll talk for an hour,
and
then
right.
that'll
And
be it.
that'll be that. You know,
And Greg will miss out.
You know, he will miss out. So, you know, we took a 2-week hiatus. You had a golf trip, so you were out. I had
It was a work trip.
It was a work trip. Okay, well, you know, a work golf trip.
Yep.
And then we were both out, I think, last week on spring break vacations. And, you know, it's that time of year. People are on spring break. I think it's fine to take a 2-week break.
I will say that I listened to an episode of you on spring break. So you were doing some podcasting while on spring break.
Yeah.
And you didn't want to do this one.
My brother and I, well, you know, this one actually takes a lot more time, a little bit more preparation.
As opposed to just talking about soccer for 15 minutes.
Yeah, as opposed to just, exactly. And you know, CSC Posse is designed for that. Just a quick 15-minute episode or two. We usually record them back to back. But this one...
Those haven't been very exciting lately, though.
Well, finally, we have something to, you know, we won. So
Did they win?
Yeah, now we have a bye week this week, or it's an off week for international break. So we'll only record one episode. And you know what? Like last week, I felt like we were both, my brother and I, like, were tired. I was an hour
You sounded
ahead.
tired.
Yeah, and he said he wasn't feeling well. He was actually kind of sick, and, you know, I was like,
man, they're really enthusiastic on this episode.
Yeah, I was like, if anybody is listening to that podcast for the first time, and I had some chatter on social media, people were like, yeah, I'm going to go give it a listen. And I'm like, I don't know that this is going to be the one that's going to bring the people in. You know, we just didn't have the energy there. And, you know, I had been out in the sun all day with the kids, you know, and again, I was an hour ahead. Kevin was late joining the podcast.
This is already later.
Yeah. And then we had a technical issue where the recording stopped like halfway through the second episode we were recording, and neither one of us caught it.
No.
I know. And then finally I'm like, wait a minute.
We don't want to repeat ourselves.
I know. And so I just said, you know what? Screw it. Let's just wrap it up. I hit record. We wrapped it up, and that was that. And then my wife went to bed, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to edit this real quick, get it out there, and then I'm done. I didn't put as much work into.
Well, you know what the best part about it is? If you half-ass it and you put out something like that and it's not great, I mean, it's not like you have a boss that's going to fire you.
No, right. Sure. You know,
you can cut corners on this. It's not a big deal.
Sure, exactly. You know, well, and somebody gave me a hard time on social media about the picture that I posted, you know, and
what was wrong? What was the picture?
Well, it was just a ChatGPT generated image, but they were like, it's not an actual player. The crest on the jersey is wrong. You know, I'm
AI
like,
slop.
That's what they called it, AI slop. And I'm like, do we care? I didn't realize it was that big of a deal. And they were like, well, I just assume that your podcast is crap if you can't do anything with the photo. And I'm like, all right, I'll spend more time, you know, making a better image. You know, I tried to do this on vacation. You know, I
take
even
time
wrote back,
away from my family.
Right. Yeah, I said that. I was like, this is a hobby, not a full-time job. Like, come on.
You don't like the picture? Shut up.
I know. I'm like, come on. Well, then somebody did the...
One of 10 people to listen, so that's 10% are pretty pissed off.
Seriously. But you know what I did get? I got engagement on the post.
Hey, there you go.
So, you know what? And they say any publicity is good publicity.
That's right. You should just try to stir some shit up.
Yep.
Encourage people to come listen to you.
Yeah. That's right. And then, you know, I figured the more people that listen to that, the more people that listen to this.
People love controversy. It probably ties in pretty good with our social media
Well,
topic.
it does, and that is our main topic. Now, I hoped we'd have Nilla on, but after 2 weeks, he's just like, not feeling it. So I don't know. Is this a 2-man show now? Can we?
Who knows?
Can we rope him back in? The old Godfather.
keep-
We'll see.
Pulling me back in.
Yeah. That was the third one, which wasn't all that great, but
That was on Seinfeld too, wasn't it? George did that.
yeah. I think
Every
it was
time I
all-
think I'm out, they
Yeah,
pull me
yeah,
back in.
Yeah. Classic.
So what I was saying before we press play was or record was that I've been off social media for
Right.
Lent. Haven't been
Yeah.
on it at all.
Right.
So I've actually had to go back to like trying to read some articles occasionally because I'm like,
yeah.
I got to read something. Like there's nothing to read. And
Well,
it's
you
just
go
like,
to the Guardian or something, right? That's your go-to.
the Gateway
news
Pundit,
source. Yeah,
which
Gateway
is actually
Pundit.
St.
Yeah.
Louis. I think, is it Jim Hoff? I think
Oh yeah,
is the
I
guy.
didn't know that. Okay.
He's from St. Louis. Yeah, so
All
that's
right.
the Gateway. That's
Right.
what in the name.
Right.
But they got like a lot of flack as being like very like right wing,
Sure.
because they were never pulling any punches like during COVID or anything. So I like them. I think they're pretty good. And then,
Yeah.
but it's still just not the same. Like
Yeah.
it's not as fast. It's not as widespread. Like on X, you just get so much more information all right at you. But on the other hand, it's kind of nice, like being able to take a step back it's been like 5 weeks now.
Sure.
And it's like, feel like stress levels are down a little bit.
And
Anxiety's down a
there's
little.
definitely some talk about that and how that, that does help. The problem with what they say is when people do these online detoxes, that it doesn't have any benefit unless you actually quit social media altogether. Completely, right? So if you're like, I'm going to take a 5-week detox, and then you go right back to what you were doing, then, it's kind of like being on a diet. You do this crash diet, you lose a bunch of weight, and then you're just saying like, I'm good now. And then all of a sudden you're right back where you were, you're 30
right back
pounds
to the
heavier
addiction.
or you're watching. Yeah. And so I thought, that would be a good primary topic, not only because you're going through it right now, but also there was just a big court case regarding social media. I kind of, honestly, I feel politicked out right now. And we were talking a little bit about that. We talked about the Iran war and everything a couple of weeks ago. That's still going on. And I just start to think that, and I've always thought this, honestly. It's just sometimes it seems more obvious that all of this politicking and cable news, I mean, none of it is real. It's all fake. It's all an agenda. Even the politics. You look at the TSA issues and the funding of the Department of Homeland Security and stuff like that. Like the Save America Act. These are all things that 80 to 90% of Americans want.
Yeah.
But the Democrats are like, no, we're not going to play along. We're not going to fund it. We're going to hammer on Trump.
Why can't they? Why why they don't do it? Because it's all about the politicking. But single issue bills. That's what they need. That should be the rule.
Right.
Everything should be a single issue bill.
Yeah.
Like voter ID is the only thing on the ballot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they, every now and then you hear something, and again, this ties in a little bit to social media because you see this on social media. It's tough to distinguish always what's real and what's not real, but you see things like, the Senate put forth the Save America Act with just the voter ID aspect, and the Democrats still voted it down, or they put forth the TSA funding, without the whole rest of the Department of Homeland Security, and the Democrats still voted it down. I agree. There's a lot of pork and a lot of bills, and, that can lead to people being like, well, that's not what this bill is really about. Rand Paul is famous for that, where he was just like, I'm for this, but I'm against all this other crap that's in the bill that they threw in there. Problem is that they can't pass any bills unless they throw that stuff in there to appease Senator 1, Senator 2, Senator 3, right?
So you know where we went last week for spring break, right?
Yeah, you went D.C., which I love D.C.
Yeah.
I haven't taken the kids there, and you guys used to live up in the area. Is this the first time the kids have been back?
So it's the first time I've actually been back.
Yeah, sure.
And,
okay.
Yeah, first time Jameson was born there. So he wanted to kind of go see where he was born.
Sure.
And then, Emerson, obviously, I haven't gone. But It was a lot of fun. I think one of the best parts was going downtown and then walking around the mall, and then we got to do a tour of the Capitol building, which I
Yeah,
had never done
right.
before, which I
Okay,
thought was
we did
pretty
that.
cool.
Yeah, we did
You did
that.
that, so
And the White House.
you had to sit through the theater, like the
Uh-huh.
video at the beginning of the Capitol tour, right? They go
Uh,
into. Do you remember that?
I think so.
It's
I
about
don't
a
quite remember.
15-minute video. They
Yeah,
go
yeah.
into kind of the history of how the country was formed and
Yeah, yeah,
what the
yeah.
purpose of the House of Representatives and the
Yeah,
Senate
yeah.
is, and how
Right.
it's supposed to, the Senate is supposed to represent the states, and the House of
Mm-hmm.
Representatives is supposed to represent the individual people as a
Mm-hmm.
populace. And it goes through all the bills that have been passed over the years and all the laws and all the great work that all these politicians have done for the people. And at the end of it, I raised my hand and I asked the guy, it didn't say anything in here about lobbyists and how these bills actually get passed. Could you explain that more? And he didn't answer my question. And he just
Of
said, let's
course
start
not.
the tour.
Of course not. Nobody has an answer to that, right?
But that's how
Yeah.
they all are passed now. It's
Of
not for
course
the
it
people
is.
anymore. The system
Yeah.
is definitely broken. It's all
Yeah.
for lobbyists.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's why you don't see any of these bills that have 90% of the populace supporting them getting passed, because
Sure.
that's not where the money is.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
in serving the people, it's in serving their own pockets. And that is through lobbyists.
Well, I think that's 100% it, and it's about the being in power, right? So, and it's probably true both sides of the aisle, but the Democrats aren't in power right now, and we know they have TDS, and so it's like, hey, we're not going to go along with anything this guy's doing. Not that they always fundamentally disagree with everything, but they cannot possibly give Trump a win.
No.
It's too much of a game, whereas it's been that way for a while now, but certainly since Trump's first term.
You can never let the other side have a win. Yeah.
No, right. That's the thing. And you can both say like, oh, we worked together. This was, a joint bill and all that stuff. But but they can't give it to Trump. Even if 90% of Americans agree with voter ID, no, it's disenfranchising Americans, and we're standing up for the people, and and they have their small base, but then when it comes time for midterms, they're going to hammer. And the Iran war, right now, they're going to try and hammer him on that. And we were just starting to talk about gas prices before we hit record. And I was like, I did do a little bit of just independent research for my own knowledge, because everybody's talking about gas prices. Yeah, they're up. And I think that was a little bit predictable, right? And even Bobcat Man said something in
I
our
don't know. I
chat.
sold my oil stocks last year, so I mean,
Right,
that kind
I
of
tell
pissed
you.
me off.
Right. Well, yeah, because you're like, oh, well, I don't know. Would it be good or bad? Trump's coming into office. He's pro oil, but, crude oil's certainly going to come down.
Well, I think I sold them in like August.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it was,
Yeah, right before Venezuela.
it was 6 months in.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I sell them, and then we go capture Venezuela's leader,
Right,
and then I
right,
attack
yeah,
Iran. I was like,
yeah,
oh, okay,
sure.
that's
Yeah,
nice.
that's usually how it goes, but Bobcat Man's like, oh, everybody's
Not that I want to
throwing.
make money off any of that, but
Oh, any way you can make money, as long as it's moral, I guess. But
I
you're
rolled it
not
all
making
into
these decisions.
Bitcoin, so I feel much better about my
Right,
moral
right.
my
Yeah.
moral
And
conscience.
Bitcoin started to steady out a little bit, it went up, and I haven't checked it. Kind of
It's
came
right
back
around
down,
70,
but
I
right
think,
around
yeah.
70, it's kind of stabilized there, and hopefully it'll get back to where it was. And Nilla even said he bought some Bitcoin. We probably convinced him on this
Oh, yeah?
podcast to buy some Bitcoin, but he's
Yeah,
not
he
here to
texted
talk
me,
about
and
it.
he
But
got on the same exchange I did.
oh, did he
He got
really?
on there. Yeah, he
Oh,
was
nice.
talking to me about it like a couple months ago, maybe.
Right. Nice.
He's probably like, "Fuck you."
See, well, he probably hasn't lost any money yet. I don't know that
Right.
he's made any, but he probably hasn't lost any.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
I'm down, but I'm buying, like I said, every
right,
day. So
right, yeah,
just bringing the average down. That's how, I think I might have mentioned this before. When I started doing monthly investing, after tax investments,
right,
I looked back at the performance on that,
yeah,
and this is the money that I'm rolling into Bitcoin now. I think it was about 8 years or so, 9 years ago that I started doing that. And
right,
for the first 2-3 years, it was basically down. It went
Right.
up, and then
Yeah.
it actually went down to
Yeah.
kind of the level that it started after like 6 to 7
Uh-huh.
years.
Yep.
And then in the last year and a half, 2
Skyrocketed
years,
back
it
up.
went up. So
Yeah.
really, it's like any investment that you start getting into and
Yeah.
you're recurringly buying, you
Yeah.
could go almost a decade and not really see any major ground,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Well,
in a matter of a couple of years, it makes the whole thing worth it.
sure. Well, like I started doing individual stocks and Bitcoin and stuff like that pretty much around COVID. And I don't know why a lot of people did. I don't know if it was the influx of funds from the government,
Probably
discretionary
more
funds,
time on their
more
hands to
time on your hands to do
research
some
some different
research. I was
investments.
absolutely
Yeah.
going to say that. Robinhood, which is what I use,
Make
made
it
it
easier
so
for people.
easy. Yeah, absolutely. Very easy. And yeah, I've certainly had my ups and downs, but I couple weeks ago, I think I talked about what my Robinhood portfolio has done over time, and it's up, down, but what again, you take that
Zoom out.
snapshot out and
Yeah.
it's up, you know.
Right.
So yeah, you got to invest over time. And,
Time is your friend.
yeah,
Yeah. As long as
time
the
is
investments
yeah.
are good.
Yeah. And, I think that honestly is probably true about the Iran war. Like people are so quick. Like, it's only been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, people like shut up. So gas has gone up a little bit over the course of this 3-week period. But under Joe Biden, the national average got as high as up to like $5.20 something in like 2022. And then I think his average over the course of his 4 years in office was somewhere around $3.70 per gallon, right? Trump was significantly lower than that, and he's kind of right around there, or maybe a little bit higher right now over the stretch of 2 weeks. And of course, the Democrats are freaking out. They're freaking out. I got an email today, which I'm not happy about, from Blue Apron. So Caroline and I, we use
Okay.
Blue Apron, and they said because of rising shipping costs, they're going to raise their prices on their menu items by like 50 cents here, $1.50 there, whatever. Not on the shipping itself per se,
Mm-hmm.
because that is what freaks people out, but on the menu items to adjust for the cost of, transit and shipping, both to receive their product and then ship it back out. And I'm like, it's been 2 weeks. I'm like, you already did this when Biden was in
Prices
office.
never go down.
No, and I understand that, but there's no real need for them to go up right now. It's been 3 weeks.
When gas dropped to $2 a gallon, they weren't
right.
lowering
Did
the
they go
price.
down? No, of course not.
They didn't send you an email. Hey, we're lowering our prices for everything for you.
Yeah.
We're passing on the savings.
I know.
Do they ever pass on the savings? Does anybody ever pass on the savings?
No, of course not. I sent them an email because I was not happy about it. And they sent me a reply back. So that's something. But they didn't read my email. I can tell because they missed a couple of clear things. It was just like this generic reply.
It was an AI reply, I'm sure.
Maybe. I asked for a credit. I said, hey, this offsets because I get free shipping. But I was like, you just sent me an email that said, due to shipping costs, you're raising the prices of your menu. So yeah, okay, I still get free shipping.
Free shipping.
Yeah.
Shipping costs are up, but I still have free shipping? This doesn't make any sense.
It makes 0 sense. I said, hey, is there a way to offer a credit? And I'm not asking to complete, but just give me a little bit. Give me like 2, 3 free meals or something. Ugh.
Something.
I tell you. Something, man.
How long have you been using that?
A long time.
You use it for all your meals?
No. And what I like about it, honestly, and free plug for Blue Apron. I know they do a lot, and I'm sure I learned about them through podcasts. But we started using them.
Blue Apron.
Yeah, hint, right? Yeah. We started using them when we were at the old house. So we're probably going back to like 2017 or something like that.
Way back.
And yeah, when my neighbor used them, and so I was like, let's give it a try. And back then we had no kids or whatever. It was very easy. It was affordable. Then the prices went up. I kind of got away from it. Then they introduced something kind of new, and I'm like, all right, I'll try that. And I do like it, and it gives us the flexibility. The food, I wouldn't cook these meals on my own. They ship it right to your house, and it just takes the work out of it. So it's definitely a convenience factor as far as like the shopping and the things like that. And then again, you just have more diversity in your meals. And then if I'm on the road, which I often am, I just turn it off. If I don't like the menu that week, I turn it off, and they have more menu items than ever. So it's a convenience factor. We had one tonight. What did I have? Korean pork bowls with rice cake. Yeah, really good. Really good.
Jenny made some turkey zucchini meatloafs that she made in the air fryer.
Yep.
She made her own ketchup and Worcestershire sauce and mustard, Dijon mustard.
Yep. I do that a lot now. Turkey.
So good.
Turkey, beef, pork. I've done all that meatloaf in the air fryer.
Love
the
meatloaf.
last time
it's
I did
my
it,
favorite.
Yeah, it's easy. And I made 2 mini meatloafs last time. So I made one for Caroline and one for me. She
made a whole tray of them.
Yeah.
I think she had like 9 of them or something. 10
of
them.
Like,
pretty good size. Like almost looked like a fillet.
Yeah. So you got some leftovers and lunch tomorrow. Or
like
something
3.
Like
Everybody, kids ate like 2.
Kids
I
ate
2.
them. All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah, they were big.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
And of course, we
air
had mac and
fryer's the way to
cheese.
go. Yeah.
Gotta have mac and cheese.
Yeah. Well, I'm off the carbs, I even had to cut out the rice cakes today. There's too many carbs in the rice cakes. And I will say, and we're not even close to being on topic tonight, which is fine. But, I went on vacation after being on this diet. I'm down 30 pounds, which
You're
I think
wasting
I brought
away.
up before. I know. And now I'm lifting and I'm studying out. And so I'm hoping to kind of keep all that. But I'm like, I'm going to go on vacation and it's going to be all this bad food and drinking beer. And it was, don't get me wrong, a lot of French fries and burgers. I did have a lot of fish, fried fish sometimes. But I came back. I didn't weigh in at all on vacation, and I took the 2 days. So Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm like, all right, I'm going to get right back to it. No carbs, high protein, working out, and weighed myself today. New low. I was shocked, flabbergasted. I thought I was going to come in, like,
way
oh
high,
man,
right?
I can't believe
Gained
I'm
it all
7 pounds up,
So
no.
how long
low.
have you been doing your diet and exercise now?
Give or take December 15th. And I didn't start exercising right away.
3 months, 3.5 months. Almost.
Yeah, probably.
So here's from what I found is like, if you actually make a lifestyle type change, right? If you mentally tell yourself, I'm not going on a diet and I'm not going to the gym to try.
And that's what it is now.
Try to get, healthy for, the spring break.
Right. It started as a diet and now I think it's a lifestyle change.
Right. If you can mentally change yourself and have a lifestyle change where, okay, this is what I do. Like this is the normal food that I eat. I eat healthy.
Yep.
And then I exercise and I try to go 3 or 4 or 5 days a week to the gym.
Yep.
And if I can't do that, that's okay. But like, that's my goal.
Yeah.
And then you come up to a time where you go on vacation and you take a week off.
Yeah.
And when you first are into it, you have the same thinking that you do. Like, oh man, I just blew up my whole thing and I get back into the gym and I'm going to weigh more. But in reality, it works the same way as the person who you can't just go work out and diet for a week and expect to be in shape.
Sure.
Well, if you're normally exercising and eating healthy, if you
1
go off
week's
that
not
for
gonna
a
blow
week,
it up.
it's not going to revert you back to what you were. So as long as you take a break and you come back and you get back into it, that's what is always hardest for everybody is coming back and getting back into the routine. So
well, that was the first thing I did.
If you can do that, you'll be just fine.
Yeah. And, and I think at some point it's going to be like, okay, we don't need to be as hardcore about it. But my goal is, especially during the week, you eat healthy, you stick to that routine. And then at the weekends, it gives you a little bit more flexibility when you're going out and stuff like that. Now, the big thing for me is now I've been on a little bit of a hiatus traveling. This is my slow season when it comes to travel. But that's about to change. So once I hit the road again, and it's it's harder sometimes to maintain that when I'm traveling, and you can't be making home cooked meals.
Right.
Who's coming down? Somebody coming down to eavesdrop?
No, it's the dog.
The dog
He's scratching at the floor.
Yeah.
Making himself comfortable. Now he's
All
licking
right.
himself.
Now, what do you say we get into the main story here? And we could just kind of chit chat and run through. This will be a faster episode, I'm sure. Although we've been just bullshitting for 24 minutes. But there was the social media trial, and I'm not going to get into the weeds on that. But the ruling
I didn't even know that they
against-
were having a trial on this. I think I
Yes.
might have heard it a while back.
Yeah, and it's been a couple times where Zuckerberg and some of the other social media CEOs have had to go testify and do things like that. So that's happened, and this has been in the news, but this is a very specific case. And the plaintiff, which I don't know that we have the actual full name on the plaintiff, for her identity was being masked or what, because I don't know if she still is, but she was a minor, when she filed this lawsuit or when she had these issues. And so she sued Google or Alphabet or whatever, the parent company of YouTube, and Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, mainly about her anxiety and depression and all this stuff that she has from the algorithm of social media. And the whole thing is that this could set the precedent, which is a little bit of, I'm concerned. One, the plaintiff won, the social media giants lost, and it was like a $3 million settlement, or settlement's the wrong word, but
Yeah, it wasn't very much.
I mean, $3 million is a lot of money. It's nothing to the social media companies. It's a lot of money for the
these
plaintiff.
damages, though, that she got. Like, I would say a lot of people could sue for the same thing.
Well, that's what I mean. So does this set the precedent for lawsuits coming out of the woodwork?
Like a class action lawsuit.
Well, sure, that too.
Every user. Billion users.
Yeah, exactly.
Pay every billion. Pay every
Right.
billion $1 million.
Yeah. So I that's the thing I worry about. But I guess we'll see. Maybe the U.S. will have to look at this and pass some laws. The Facebook and Google, they all say that they have stuff for minors, and they have limitations, they have parental controls. But the problem is that there's ways around that.
I think they just groom minors on there.
Well, and that's the bigger argument, is that they say that they're doing these things, but they're actually relying heavily on young people to fuel their platforms.
Sure.
And that's more or less what I have my breakdown on. We could go dissect the trial and the lawsuit and all that.
All right,
but
give me the
think,
breakdown. I'm going to grab
I
a
think
beer.
the stats that I've got here is pretty good, and it's all about the different generations and how social media is rewiring every generation, and nobody is safe. So we can start with Gen Z. And the fact of the matter is, Gen Z is essentially living online. So you're talking about going through, a little bit of a social media detox, but how much time were you really spending online?
I would say probably, I'm on my computer all day at work.
Well, yeah, that doesn't count. I mean, work is work. I'm talking like social media, scrolling X, Facebook, TikTok, I don't think it was really that much.
So how much, or what platforms do you have? Because the only thing I was ever on was X. Here recently.
Right. I have Facebook, and I do scroll Facebook sometimes. I have X, and that's probably the one that I look at the most now. I only got TikTok to support this podcast. I never look at it, so I don't scroll TikTok.
That's like the most popular one, though, too, right?
I know. Yeah. So I post some of our stuff on TikTok, not much.
How is that one even set up? Just like continuous new videos coming out?
Yeah, it's just videos. And and I have some stuff on that too. It's just these short form videos. And that's what I think is really addicting people now. And the same is true with Instagram.
20-second clips.
Yeah. And so nothing is
feeds that,
right.
That focus, that attention deficit disorder that everybody has. Like
anything longer than 30 seconds is a documentary now. Nobody wants to listen to anything, a minute long or anything like that. They give it 10 seconds, and if they're not hooked in 10 seconds, they scroll because it's endless.
What was
It's
the
just-
movie I was looking at the other day? It was like, I think it was Casablanca. It was like 3.5 hours or something like that.
Well, not Casablanca, although not that one's short. You're probably thinking of Citizen Kane or
Citizen Kane, that's
or
what it
Gone
was.
with the Wind. Both of those are very long.
I think both of those were showing up on like HBO or Netflix or something. I was like, oh my gosh, this thing's like 3.5, 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Who's going to watch that?
I tried watching Citizen Kane one time because
It's supposed to be like the top movie of all time.
Number one. You can't get through it. You can't do it.
Is it tough?
Now, Casablanca, I liked. I remember watching that in film studies in high school.
I remember watching that in
this,
school,
yeah, this is good. Gone with the Wind, can't do it. No.
All Quiet on the Western Front.
I've seen that one. That one.
They have a remake of that.
What's the, I haven't seen the remake. What's the bridge?
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I liked that one, but it's been a long time. Full Metal
I think
Jacket.
we watched that in 8th grade.
Oh, I don't know
Didn't
about
we?
that. 8th grade?
Or no, maybe I'm thinking of something else.
It was probably high school. Yeah,
I
8th
am
grade's
thinking of something else.
probably ain't ready for the Kubrick films. 2001: A Space Odyssey. Do you remember watching that with Nate Dogg?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, it was me, you. Yeah, it was me, you, and him. I think we watched it at his house. We watched 2001: A Space Odyssey. Then we tried to watch the follow-ups, and we couldn't do it. 2001 was good, but not the sequels.
Nothing was good after that.
No,
I think the TV show was pretty good.
There was a TV show. Hal?
Didn't they have that? I thought they
You're
had
not thinking
that
of
on
like
Netflix.
Lost in Space or something, are you?
I am.
You are.
Yeah.
Lost
It's a different
in Space.
thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a different thing. 2001: A Space Odyssey it's like the first 20 minutes is the monkeys, remember? And then the one monkey discovers that the bone.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it goes to space. But the first like 20 minutes of the movie, you're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, now I remember that one.
Yeah. It's a good one. But
Okay, little tangent there. Back to it.
Back to social media. So Gen Z.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So you don't have Instagram?
No.
Is that considered social media?
Yes.
Okay. Snapchat, is that also?
Yes, I do not have that either.
Okay. Yeah. So we had Facebook back in college, right?
Sure. Right.
So I would say that was 2002 that it really started. We kind of started getting onto Facebook.
It was like 2006, I think, is when it came out.
Was it that late?
Yeah.
I thought we had it in like a long time in school.
No, it was like right when we were graduating, I think. I remember it started going school to school. So like we didn't have it. I remember
Hold on, we're going to have to look this up.
Yeah, look it up. I'm pretty sure it's 2006. Maybe it started in 2004. But yeah, I remember Justin had it down at SEMO, and like it wasn't available to me yet. It wasn't at my college. So like I couldn't be on it.
Not that long ago. I thought it was earlier than that. Let's see. Okay, February 4th, 2004. You're right.
Yeah, so it came out in 04.
That was when it was at Harvard. By June of 2004, it was available at 34 schools. I think Rolla
in 2004. Rolla was one of them.
So I remember being down there, and it was probably 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
I thought it was way earlier. I thought it was my freshman year down there, but I guess not.
No. Yeah.
And isn't that funny how time just kind of gets smashed together? Like I feel like I was.
The older you get, that's what happens.
I feel like I was like a brand new freshman, and they were like, "Hey, check out this Facebook thing."
Right.
But I guess I was, 3 or 4 years in.
Sure.
And you couldn't even log in with our Rala, our UMR email. You had to use Missouri.edu because Mizzou, I guess, was on it.
Okay.
And for some reason, that worked for our emails as well.
Right. Interesting.
And then,
it
took
it's
like
a Missouri
6
school.
months or a year before Rala was on there.
Sure. Yeah. Interesting.
Those were the early days, though, and there was no other people, just university students.
Well, see, now, and this, I
it was so much better.
it definitely was better. I would agree. And, then they opened it up to everybody.
I think they should have kept it school-based.
Yeah, I know. But the problem is
that from a business aspect, they're not going to do that.
Of course. Right. So they needed to get bigger. They eventually needed to get advertisers. You go watch the movie. It's great. And I guess they're making a second social network movie that's going to take place, after
showing how it destroyed humanity.
Well, maybe exactly. And they're recasting Zuckerberg, so it's not going to be the same guy or whatever. But so now you look at Facebook. Go ahead.
I was gonna say if we had that in 2005, I think we got rid of it in 2011.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe 12 time frame.
Yeah.
Something like
Caroline
that.
got
So
rid of it too. She
probably
doesn't have
about
one.
5 to or 7-ish years, maybe being on it. And
Yeah.
I remember exactly what it was that turned us off on it was the invention of the timeline, that
Yeah.
feed.
Yeah.
So it used to be at the beginning
You
where
had
you'd
to
actually
go
have
to people's pages.
go to people's pages and
Yeah,
you'd leave them a
right.
message.
It
And
would
they
be
would go
more
to
like
your page.
MySpace. Yeah.
Exactly. And then
Yeah.
you could add photos and you could tag people and that would
Yep.
show up on their page, right? In their photos.
Right. Yeah.
And that was really cool. I liked that a
Yeah,
lot. And then when the
sure.
feed came out, I was like, this is going to be the downfall of this whole thing, which
uh-huh.
obviously it wasn't from a company aspect, but
Right.
in my mind, it wasn't social media anymore at that.
Right.
It was, now
Yeah.
it's something completely different.
And
Well, what that
it's turned
showed
into
me,
entertainment. That's
Well,
what it
yeah.
is. It's people now look at it as a form of entertainment, and it's I can't stop scrolling.
I would say that is what it's
Yeah.
become. Yeah, it's more
Yeah.
entertainment and not communicating and with other people
No.
that you know.
Right.
But the reason we got rid of it was because these were, at the beginning, it was still people that were all your friends. Like you didn't really have
Right.
any friends that you didn't know
Right.
on there.
Everybody
right?
on your feed was still
Everybody
your
who was on
friends.
there, you knew. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't millions of followers, right? You couldn't
Right.
just follow anybody. You had to be friended. And you would see your friends or your acquaintances from, you might have met them 3 or 4 times.
Sure. Yeah.
Or you might have hung out with them a lot, but you don't know
Right.
their politics and you
Right.
don't know anything.
Well, it's certainly changed. Yes.
Right.
Right.
So this person you would think of as your friend
Mhm.
and you had a good relationship with, then all of a sudden you see on the computer screen that they're posting stuff about whatever
Yeah.
politics
They
that you
voted for
completely
the other
disagree
guy,
with.
or they have
and
the
they're just
opposite
kinda
opinion
like-
of abortion. And,
Right. Stuff that
yeah.
you probably would never even talk to them about in
Sure.
person.
Right. Right.
And then
Yeah,
now
yeah.
you have this, opinion
Hatred,
of them,
right.
and hatred of
Yeah.
them. And it's
Yeah.
like, was that worth it? That doesn't
Yeah.
help anybody by doing
Right.
that.
Right.
And then the other part of that is, and it's really not like somebody trying to be mean, but like when you go on vacation, you post all your vacation pictures, right?
Yeah. And that's almost all I post on Facebook at all anymore is
Well, you don't
or
ever
concert
post,
videos or something.
you
but
don't
that's
ever
about
post
it.
about like bad stuff going on. So
No,
it's
never.
it's all good, like in
Yeah.
your feed, like
Yeah.
you're posting stuff and it's all good stuff. Well, now you extrapolate that to all of your friends and they're all only posting the good stuff.
Sure.
And if you're going through your
It's
life
not
and you're not
real.
having like great
Yeah.
times all the
Right.
time,
Right.
but on your feed, everybody's having a great time all the time. And
Yes.
you are wondering, what's the deal with that?
So I had
And
a
that's
stat.
causing anxiety and stress on people
Yeah,
too.
I had
think.
a stat in here or something about this, and we're way off. We're way out of the order, but no longer is keeping up with the Joneses. It used to be about your neighbor, right? Your neighbor gets a new outdoor pizza oven, and you're like, "Oh, I got to get a new outdoor pizza oven." Well, now it's all about social media, and especially on Instagram, I think, and maybe stories and TikTok to an extent. But you see acquaintances or friends of friend, whatever it may be, you're scrolling through and they're always on vacation or they're always out to eat. And that's what you think. You're like, oh, well, these people are going out all the time or they're going on all these vacations. I need to do that too. Well, then
But
you
have
start
1,000
spending
friends.
Well, right, exactly. And you don't realize that the times that they're not on vacation,
They're not
they're
posting
actually
stuff about it.
miserable or whatever. They're
I've been
only
sick for 3 weeks.
Yes, exactly. Whatever. It glorifies the amazing things that hopefully we all get to do at some form or another. But then you start thinking that
But you start to see it all the
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
And it's not happening for you all the time. It's not happening for
right.
anybody all the
Right.
time.
Sure.
But in your feed, it looks like it's just happening all the time.
Well, and people think that with my job, and we don't necessarily, I don't want to get into the weeds on my job. We don't have to tell everybody what it is. But a lot of people think that like, oh, he's got the best job. All he does is go have fun and go to these cool places and eat great food and drink great drinks. And I'm like,
and
yeah,
people are going to
there's-
wonder, like, what's this guy's job?
Right, what does this guy do? I thought he was a full-time radio
He goes
host
to
or
exotic
something,
places
right?
and drinks and eats
And-
amazing food.
And it is it is awesome. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of great things, but they don't see the working 16-hour days or getting stuck at the airport or not eating for 12 hours, leading up to that one
The
meal
waterboarding,
or right. Yeah. The waterboarding. Yeah. Now people are really wondering, Yeah. CIA Bright
Right.
over here. That's Duds is actually my handler. This is all a gimmick.
This is our cover.
This is our cover, yeah. But I think that keeping up with the Joneses, 100% has turned into the social media, and again, it glorifies things, and you're not seeing real life, and then I think part of the reason we have the divide that we do, that's part of the reason that I like this podcast. Yeah, you might be able to tell where our politics lie, especially if you go back and listen to the past episodes. But we're pretty friendly guys. I like to think so, right? Like we're friends with Democrats, we're friends with Republicans, we're friends with independents, we're friends with people that don't follow politics. We're friends with gay people, we're friends with straight people, we're friends with black people, we're friends with white people. Honestly, I don't know that we really care all that much. But some people would see one post that we make on social media and be like, I can't be friends with them.
No, for sure.
But we would
Racist
be
MAGA.
friends with them. Right. Well, right. Yeah. That's probably what they think. Right. Like, so I think there is something to be said about that. And I think
Be friendly till it's time not to be friendly.
Well, sure. Yeah. I think that's
everybody
true.
should be at least cordial with one another.
You would think so. Right. But that ain't true.
I got a lot of fraternity brothers, and like all different walks of life, different political, some are more liberal and conservative than others.
Right.
And I've got a couple that talk to me about like, oh, did you see what this guy posted on Facebook? It's like, well, no, because I don't have Facebook.
I don't have it. Right.
And they'll show me, and I'm like, yeah, it's like people post that stupid stuff. Like I'm glad,
right.
I'm glad I don't have it because I know the guy, and when I see him in person and we hang out, it's fine to hang out with him.
Yeah.
And we understand that our politics don't match, but he never would say that kind of stuff in person, which is it's bad on him, but it's also just the platform itself.
Right.
Like if it doesn't exist, if you're not on it, then you're not exposed to that.
Right.
It's not a really good look for people, I don't think.
Yeah. For sure. And people the internet in general, people say things on the internet that they would never say in person. Because you
can't get punched in the
format.
face through a computer screen.
Well, right. That is true.
As soon as that starts happening, people wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Like if you had to put your address above like a shit post or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think people would do it.
No. And maybe that should be the new law, right?
Or you have to post your actual face.
Yes. Everybody gets
where you
doxxed.
live.
Yeah. For sure.
And you want to talk shit? That's fine.
Yeah,
you can do it.
Right. Yeah. Until your house gets TP'd or egged or worse.
And I don't think people should have to do that.
Of course not.
You should be able to be private online. It's a digital world, right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to broadcast where you live and all that stuff. But you also shouldn't be an asshole. So
agreed.
Don't do that. Don't be a troll.
Don't be a troll. And that's the thing. Who has the time? So this is our first stat. I don't know that we ever got to it. Gen Z is spending 5 hours a day on social media.
That's too much.
That's a long freaking
That's too much
5 hours.
Basically do anything.
Imagine if you took that and took that time to learn a language or read a book or
learn the piano, practice basketball. Anything.
There's so many things that if you took that time and actually invested it. Now, if you're an influencer
5 hours a
and
day,
you're making a bunch of money, okay, one thing. But if you're just a regular Joe Schmo Gen Zer, and you're spending 5,
that's a whole nother level. Like I didn't think people were on it that much.
No. And some people would argue, be like, oh, well, you watch 5 hours of TV. I mean, I don't, first of all, but okay, if you watch 5 hours, I actually think TV is a much, well, maybe, but I think TV teaches you more than social media teaches you. And like my kids, of course, they're too young to really have social media, but I don't even let them watch YouTube. You know, I know some kids their
Yeah, we
age are
don't-
watching YouTube
we
and
don't
they're
allow
watching these
that.
crazy videos and they're scrolling and they're going from one video to the next video. They're short videos. My kids are watching shows. They're watching shows that teach lessons, shows. And that's how I learned some things. I mean, a lot of things, but really I
Blue's Clues?
learned, no, not even that. Like even growing up, I
Sesame
learned
Street.
how stories are structured, themes. You know, I know they try and teach that in school with books, but that never clicked with me. It didn't click with me until I found a really good TV show that I was into that was really good about doing that stuff. And
What was
I was
that?
like, oh, you want to know the show that it really was?
Was it Barney?
No, I was much older. It was Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but which we've
okay.
talked about on this podcast before.
So
but-
that show taught you how a story is structured?
Taught me how good stories are structured and how character development happens, how themes work, all kinds of different stuff. I remember one specific episode I was watching when I was younger. My mom was watching with me, and she thought it was dumb.
Yeah.
She was like, "What are you watching?" And it was this episode.
Have you gone back and watched them? They probably are dumb.
No, I love it. I'm watching them with the kids right now.
Are you really?
My kids,
funny.
7 and 4, love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Love it. They ask every night if they can watch it. I'm like, tonight's not a night, and I have to cherry pick. I can't watch every episode.
Yeah.
Mainly the episodes with the sex. There's not like
good
that
episodes.
much. The good episodes. Yeah. There's not actually that much violence, really, not by today's standards by any means, and it's all pretty hokey. And really, it's
Is that
the
Sarah Michelle
episodes-
Gellar?
Yeah. So I actually had that on the wheel today because Hulu just canceled the Buffy reboot that they were going to make. So I was all excited about that, and they filmed the pilot, and then Hulu pulled the plug on it.
Dang.
Which I know, which I'm really bummed about, actually.
Did you like the Buffy movie? Was that with Luke Perry? Was he in that?
Luke Perry, Christy Swanson, Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman was in that?
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Donald
that.
Sutherland.
That's got a
it was
pretty good
actually-
cast.
Yeah. Well, and there's a really good story behind it. The movie was good when you're a kid. It's not good now.
Oh, yeah.
I still
It's one
think
of
the TV
those.
show, the TV show is way better. The movie is hokey, but it's the same writer that wrote the movie and wrote the TV show, Joss Whedon, and he wrote the movie to be more serious and more in line
Correct.
with the TV show. But then the studio went and just completely changed it all up. They didn't like, and then they made it more of like a hokey comedy. And then when he went to make the TV show, of course, they
Hey,
were
don't
like,
you love
"Why-"
when studios get involved with like writers? And,
Oh
like,
yeah, well
the
they screw it up so many.
creators?
Yeah, they screw it up so many times, and so oh man, I mean this episode's all over the place. So another part onto that. So they canceled the Buffy reboot, which is a Joss Whedon show, and they are bringing back Firefly, which is another Joss Whedon show. Did you ever watch that one?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's so good. So this is one of the most infamous shows out there where the studio fucked it up big time. So Joss Whedon, he's at the height of his career at the time. Now he's since been castrated from the industry for all kinds of different reasons we won't get into. But he's at the height of his career. He has Buffy, he has Angel. They're both immensely popular shows in the early 2000s. He comes out with Firefly next, and it's a space cowboy western, and it's phenomenal. And it got canceled after season 1, 13 episodes. They didn't air all the episodes, but Fox aired them out of order, which
Out of
threw
order?
people. Yeah, right off the bat. They skipped the first 2 episodes, started with like episode 3. Nobody knew what the hell was going on.
How do you do that?
I don't know. They're like, who are these
Somebody
characters?
doesn't say like, "Hey guys, that's episode 3."
Right. And you're
Somebody
not going to
knew that.
And Joss Whedon at the time had the track record of clear success. You would think he would have an open runway for at least a little while before the studio was like, this ain't working. Well, then they canceled it. And then somehow he went and made a follow-up movie called Serenity, which is also phenomenal, which you can watch even if you haven't seen the show. You can go watch the movie and be like, this is a great movie. I highly recommend it. And so he took Buffy, which was a failed movie, and turned it into a successful TV show. Then he took Firefly, a failed TV show, and turned it into I wouldn't call it a successful movie by box office standpoint.
But
It was
good.
It was a great movie, and it broke even. I think it had like a $20 or $40 million budget, and it made $20 or $40 million, right? So it wasn't a failure. And now they're bringing Firefly back because it is the most cult TV show, sci-fi show out there. Period. People love the show, and they're flabbergasted that it got canceled. And of course, time has gone on, and there's streaming, and there's all this stuff that has made it popular.
Space Cowboys.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's great. Yeah, I would. It's such a good show. So they're bringing it back, but they're bringing it back in a animated form for right now. Hopefully, I know, but it's all voiced.
I watch enough animated stuff.
I know. Tell me about it. But it's voiced by the same characters. So they got all the original actors, with the exception of one, that passed away. They're going to come back and voice the show. So I think that gives it a little bit more credence. It's not like they're just, making up a new show and getting all new people and that kind of a thing. So at least the original actors are going to be involved. So, but anyway, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, if you want to teach your kids about all that literary stuff without them having to read books, that's the way to do it.
All right,
not the social media.
How did we get
crap.
on Buffy here? I forgot what we were talking about.
We were talking about how social media has turned into entertainment, constant scrolling, kids watching YouTube, and
there we went.
Right, spending 5 hours a day watching on social media. But I'm saying that's a little bit different than even 5 hours a day watching TV. The other thing is that people can't even watch TV without being on their phone.
Oh, yeah.
So they're sitting there on their phone watching TV. They're not paying attention.
Guilty.
Well, we're probably all guilty to it to an extent. But I really try and make a conscious effort. I might, if it's a really boring part, I might hop on and see what's going on, but I'm not doom scrolling while I'm also watching a movie that I want to watch.
I've heard that they've had to start making movies dumber because of that reason.
So Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were on Joe Rogan, and they talked about how the studios and Netflix are
it's too complicated of a movie. Like, people aren't going to be able to follow it while they're scrolling on their phone.
So they're making them do two things. They have to, one, put an action sequence at the beginning. If it's an action movie, they put an action sequence in the middle of the beginning of the movie, right, to draw you in. If you spend all your money on the big action sequence at the end of the movie, well, it's too late. The people aren't sticking around to watch it. So you got to do the big action sequence at the beginning, and then you have to restate the plot like 4 or 5 times throughout the movie because people have missed it.
So he's the bad guy, right?
Yes, right. That's exactly it. That's what they're doing. And so Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, it went viral on Joe Rogan because they're like, Netflix is making us do it this way.
Wow.
So, and it's all because of social media.
You used to have to actually watch a movie, and if you missed the part, you could miss the whole reason why something was going on.
Okay. So another tangent. I'm going to a movie tomorrow night, and I also had this on the wheel, I think. Going to see Project Hail Mary.
Okay, good.
Which
you're gonna have to let me know how it is.
Very excited. I'll write a review. I'll post it on the blog even.
I don't want any spoilers, though.
No spoilers. You
read the book. So you already
right. You read the book. So I read the book. Right. So I've been looking forward to that. Caroline's reading the book right now. She's probably not going to finish it by the time we go see the movie, but I want to go see it. So we're gonna go, and we're going to a nice theater where they have drinks and food and all that stuff. And when I go to the theater, I hate to run to the bathroom for 2 minutes. I hate it. I try and avoid it at all costs. Well, now this movie is a 2.5 hour movie, and I'm going to be drinking beer.
Oh, that's tough.
I know. So that's tough. But that's the thing. If I'm in the theater, I usually never go because I don't want to miss anything.
You can't go 2.5 hours without drinking a beer?
No. It's a Friday night. It's a date night. We're going to go out and drink some beers.
Okay.
It's a fancy theater. They're bringing the beer to your seat.
Bring a flask, and then if you drink hard liquor, you won't have to pee so much. Problem solved.
That's true. Problem solved. I don't
Lawyered.
We'll see. Now at home, of course, you can just go back. You're streaming it. You're like, oh
Man, I don't think I've
maybe
ever left a movie theater to go pee.
No, I
pee
not
before
really.
I go in, you know.
Yes, and then after.
So that way you can make it.
Yeah.
Even if you drink a big soda, it's not.
Yeah.
You should be fine for 2 hours.
I know.
Just don't break
try
the
it.
seal beforehand.
Yeah, I know. That is the key. I will keep you guys posted. I'll put it in the blog how many times I had to run to the restroom. Hopefully
That'll ruin the movie.
It should be one or less. And that's the thing. Even though I know maybe what's going on.
Can you please pause it?
Yeah, I don't think they're
going
to
miss
do
this
that.
part.
I don't think we
got tickets to the new Mario movie.
Yeah, that was the other one. I didn't even know that was out. Because I was like, oh, the kids will love that. They loved the first one. I like the first one.
The first one's good.
And I don't know if it's
this most recent first one, you mean? Not the first one, like the first Mario movie back from the 90s?
No, right. Yeah. The one
with
from like
John
3 years
Leguizamo
ago
or whatever?
I couldn't even tell you, man. No,
It's
but
not
I
good.
think it's being overshadowed by Project Hail Mary. Not only because
Probably.
they've been doing all the marketing, so that's the only commercials I'm seeing for movies right now. But also, I mean, Project Hail Mary is doing great in the box office. They did 80 million, I think, domestically. Their
really?
Opening weekend,
Killing
it did really good. Yeah. Now it was like a $200 million budget. So they still got a ways to go, but I think they're going to do just fine.
Is that Ryan Gosling it?
Ryan Gosling, the critic reviews are good. The audience reviews are good.
Who plays the alien?
Well, I mean,
is there a
CGI.
voice?
There has to be a voice, but it could be like a computer voice, the way that it works, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I was wondering how they do it.
Yeah,
if there was an actor that was
could be a voice actor. Could be a voice actor. And you know who does a lot of this voice actor tie into Firefly? Alan Tudyk. Look him up, man. He was in Firefly. He's Steve the Pirate from Dodgeball.
Oh, okay, that's him.
So it's him. He's Wash in Firefly.
He's like a voice actor, huh?
And oh my God, he's in everything. So when you start to look at, you're like, this has got to be the most prolific voice actor of all time.
Yeah. R.C. Bray's good too, and I think he's in a lot of the books. And then there's another guy, I can't remember what his name is.
Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, he does all kinds of voice acting.
Yep. There's a lot of good ones.
No. All right. I'm rolling right along here, and we're going to have to go fast or skip some stuff. So 5+ hours a day on Gen Z, 41%.
So how much do you spend on it?
I don't know, an hour, maybe, hour and a half. And
is that accurate, though, or is that what you think?
I think it's probably less than that.
You think it's less?
I think, but I figured I'm putting in a buffer because I kind of thought like it's probably more than I think it is.
Right.
So I probably think it's an hour. It's probably more like 90 minutes or something like that. I don't know. Most of my scrolling probably happens right before bed. No, actually no. It's usually right before bed because I want to see if I missed anything before I go to sleep, any major news, and it's usually news related. I'm not looking for. Now if I'm away on travel, especially in another country where I don't have great TV, then
you could be scrolling a lot.
Oh, it's way worse. I come back, it's late at night, it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I'll scroll until I literally fall asleep at 1 a.m. Because there's nothing on TV. It's all Spanish channels or whatever.
And it's amazing how hours can fly by on there.
It's crazy. And I'm like,
but
what am I doing?
You can see how 5 hours
I got to be up at
up.
7 o'clock in the morning, and so I think that's where that doom scrolling really kicks in. Now, millennials, here's the average is 2.5 hours a day.
It's better.
So we're half of Gen Z.
So Gen Z is younger, right?
Yeah. Yes, Gen Z is younger. Now, boomers, I don't have how long they spend.
I bet they're on there a lot.
I think so. And 88% of them are heavy Facebook users.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And the biggest problem with them is that they are trusting of social media. Like they think anything that's on social media is real. Right? Because they grew up trusting newspapers, TV. They think that social media has some kind of authority. which it
Nice.
doesn't. So they're passing along
It's
this
on the
and how-
internet. It must be real.
Exactly. I
This
mean, you could probably
podcast
say
ain't even
you could probably
real.
say it about your parents.
Don't take any of
or-
this information.
How
and-
many
and
times do you get
broadcast it.
something forwarded to you from a boomer, whether it's your parents or somebody else, and you're like, Dad.
Somebody
like,
told me Ozzie Smith had cancer, and I was like
I
telling
did.
everybody.
I did. Shut up. I put that. I know, and I was like, oh, I got. I don't think that's real. I don't know, man. I don't know. So that's really about it. Kids don't stand a chance.
So
Although
have you heard of Wait Till 8?
Yeah, 100%.
So Jenny was actually, to her credit, like years ago, was already talking about this social media stuff.
Yeah.
Social media and cell phones, like
Yeah.
devices at school.
Yeah, there's no
And-
way that my oldest is having a cell phone or being on
Right. social
social media.
So she was
until-
actually into this, like
Yeah.
when she started school board 3 years
Mhm.
ago. She's almost
Mhm.
done. Like she's almost done with her little term.
Right. Right.
So 3 years ago, she got on it with this
Yeah.
intention of bringing this stuff up. And
Well, now
now,
y-
luckily, it's
Yeah.
gotten a lot more traction. Like
Yeah.
people are finally aware, but she was at the forefront of it for sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't
and
think
bringing
I
it
think
up, like-
Missouri has a new law. You cannot have cell phones in
Right.
class. Yeah.
Yep. And we've had speakers and stuff come to the school and talk about how bad it is. Like you
Yeah.
guys, you need, and a lot of the biggest barrier is the parents
Sure.
that want
They
to
w-
have constant contact
Yeah,
with their kids.
Right. Which is a little like helicopter parenting, right?
A
like,
little,
Yes.
like let them go to school
Right. Now,
without
that's
a
the thing.
phone.
Yes, I would agree. Like things have changed, right? Like we were like, you leave the house, and that was that, right?
You're
I
on
s-
your own.
That's it. I
You're
saw
out in
this
the
thing.
wilderness.
I saw this thing, and it was on social media, and I did think it was funny. And it's somebody like, "Why were you drinking from the hose? Like the faucet wasn't an option." And then this lady jumps in,
You didn't
that's
have
like
cups?
our age, and she's like, "No, the faucet was not an option because you were literally kicked out of the house. Your
Yes.
parents were like, go outside, have fun, be back at bedtime."
Yeah,
And they
you
didn't
weren't
know
coming
where
in
you
for
were
a
doing,
glass
what
of
you were
water.
doing. No, you drank from the hose.
You know what
And you were
else?
out there having fun.
And this is something I'm trying to institute now because I have to be out doing yard work or something, right?
Yeah,
Is if the kids are around, you put them to work.
sure.
So kids,
You
and
texted
our
that the
day,
other day. Yeah.
they learn to not be around because
Right.
if they were around, they would be
They're
put
doing
to work.
Mhm.
Yes. So that's also the other thing is people need to start doing more work and
Sure.
and having their kids do more chores and work
Yeah,
when they're
yeah, yeah.
around.
I think
Like
that's
if you
true.
want
I
to stay
mean,
in the house, you need to start cleaning stuff up.
it was funny today.
Turn the TV off, turn the tablet off, and go clean the bathroom.
Kat was complaining about her, like, we had Frankie's TV show on, and Kat was complaining about it. And Caroline's like, all right, come up here and do your homework. And Kat's like, oh, threw a big fit. And she was like, well, then stop whining. Like, we're trying to eat dinner, but you're bugging us during dinner about a TV show.
Yeah.
Well, now you're doing homework. So
No, I
next
turn
time,
the TV off. My kids hate it. I grab the
Yeah.
remote as soon as I walk in the house. I turn the TV off.
yeah.
It's like you're done.
Now, I had the Cardinals game on when the kids got home, and they were not happy about it. And I said, sorry, tough luck. I'm watching the Cardinals
Sorry.
game.
I don't know where the
I'll-
remote is.
I told them, I was like, after the game, I will turn on your show, and you can watch your show at, during dinner time or whatever.
Shout
And
out to
hey,
the Cardinals winning opening day.
Yeah, it ended up being our local in the loose segment. That was my plan. I did not expect us to have a win. I mean, I don't think we're really looking at this to be a
Could be the only one
phenomenal year.
all year.
I wouldn't go that far, but talk about a good game and a roller coaster game. I don't know if you had the
Right.
chance to watch it.
I did not, but I looked at
Okay.
the highlights. Saw
Yes.
JJ Weatherholt's home run.
Yeah,
His
first
debut.
first hit, debut, home run.
Saw that
always cool.
sixth inning was crazy.
Yeah, on both sides. So
Uh-huh.
we gave up 6 runs, and then in the bottom we ended up scoring 8.
Yep.
So pivotal inning for sure. And here's what I have to say. I tried to turn it on opening day. I'm like, I want to watch the ceremony, even if it was like while I'm working. You got it up. The Blues,
Mhm.
speaking of which, are in overtime right now, 1-1. And MLB TV down.
Oh, no kidding.
crashed. I know. And it's crazy because you can see it has, a couple of reports, down detector, a couple of reports. And then at 3:00, right when the Cardinals game starts, boom, big spike. So I'm like, what?
All the Cardinals fans.
I don't know. I'm like, that's what it was. I'm like, is it all the Cardinals fans? Now, what I don't know, so we talked about this in an earlier episode, the Cardinals switched their broadcasting. They're now being managed by MLB, right? And they have their partnership with DirecTV and Spectrum. And so my question is, was it down for that? Was the feed down for them? I'm assuming no. I'm assuming this was an MLB app issue. And so I wasn't actually able to turn on the game until that 6th inning, and at least it started working.
So you pay for something like that and then it doesn't work.
Well, sure, and it's frustrating. Now I'm kind of gaming the system a little bit. I'm using my VPN. I get a free MLB subscription through T-Mobile. So
I signed up for that too. So
nice.
Why do you have to go through the VPN?
Well, because it's still not. You're still getting blacked out for local market on MLB TV.
Well, what's the point of having it then?
Well, if you go through the Cardinals app and you pay the $20 a month or $100 a year,
so the free MLB TV through T-Mobile doesn't get you the Cardinals games.
You need to use the VPN. But if
That's so stupid. Who would pay? But
you have the VPN, you can do it.
Well, I know, but who would pay for that? Who's going to do that?
Well, that's the thing. I'm not, because I already have a VPN and I have MLB TV. So
if you go through the Cardinals app, it's $20 a month.
$20 a month or $100 for the season. Yes,
and that's just the Cardinals games.
Yes, just the Cardinals games. Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
No
with the
other
Blues.
baseball.
Correct. Yeah.
So that would be like, it was at 5 months, so $100.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not a terrible price, but when you talk about all the other streaming apps, then you're just like, ugh.
And like, how many games am I going to watch?
Well, that's the thing, especially as we get older, we don't have as much time. Back in the day, I would just turn it on in the background when I didn't have kids, and I'd be doing other things. With baseball,
the kids don't want that on in the background.
But, Frankie was complaining so much. I'm like, I thought you liked baseball. He's
this
like,
is the worst thing in the
world. But I don't want to watch it. Yeah, and
this
I
is
get
the worst
it.
day ever.
Baseball is
Dad is torturing
slower.
us.
Yeah, that. Honestly, that is what they thought. That is what they thought. So,
they really do think that.
Yeah. But then, then it kind of got exciting, and he pretends. He was like, "We won." I'm like, "Yeah, we won." And he's like, "Yay!" And he's like, "Can I watch my show?"
Taking him to the game?
Yeah, we've been, both of them a couple of times, but it was when they were younger. I don't think we went last year, so we're probably talking 2 years ago. Frankie was a wee little one.
We always seem to go when it's like 99 degrees,
I know. And that's the other thing about the game today. I mean, freaking March 26th, and it was 94 degrees.
Yeah.
The average temperature for today is like 56 to 59 normally.
Isn't that crazy?
Crazy. And you know what? No, this probably beats. We have a lot of sucky opening days where it's rainy and gloomy and cold.
Been there.
So so this is probably better, but unexpected. Like, where is that 70-degree day that we all are really hoping for?
St. Louis, baby. You just get the extremes.
Only in St. Louis. And tomorrow's I think a high of 50 or something like that. So we're right back at it. So I don't know.
I always wondered why people want to live in St. Louis. Because of the beautiful weather we have.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. Well, at least we get all 4 seasons, even if it's in 1 week.
Yep. Sometimes in the same day.
But what do you think? You think the Cardinals are going to be okay? I think Vegas has them at around 75 wins, which would not be a playoff team, but
I mean, I don't know. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. And, sometimes you get these young teams. And
sometimes you get the prospects come up and they light the world on fire, especially like in their first year when the pitchers can't figure them out, And
sure. And we don't have one thing is I don't know about our pitching. It might be a little bit soft, but we don't have really any star player.
Right.
At least not yet. Burleson crushes a big home run today. Mason Wynn won the Gold Glove, so he might be, our shortstop. He might kind of like that next Ozzie Smith.
Mm-hmm.
He might be somebody. I don't know.
It's sometimes nice, you don't have the big egos. So hopefully just people fighting for position and they play good,
Right.
You got nothing to lose, guys. You go out there and do your best to try and earn a position, right?
That's right.
So at least they should all be playing hard.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, they had
You
a
just
good
wonder how the
spring.
clubhouse is, you know?
Well, and that's something everybody raves about Ollie Marmol, and he's young. He's got the clubhouse, you know. So, and maybe some of the guys that were gone, I don't want to say that they were toxic, but maybe they were um,
Maybe just
a
kind of didn't fit.
distraction.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just not the right fit. Arenado, Goldschmidt, Brendan Donovan, a great player. We got a lot of good returns. So we got to these young guys, and it's the first time we've had a retool or a rebuild for the Cardinals in a very long time. And the same is really true for the Blues, which I think we just won. We did. We just won an OT.
Nice.
Gotta rewind it. So. And the Blues have been pretty good since the Olympic break here.
Have they? I was wondering if they were going to turn it around.
Too little, too late. We did this last year too. We went on a big run and made it into the playoffs, and of course we
Just
did that in
enough
2019. But I think
get you excited.
Yeah, little, too late. But I'll take the win. Some people are like, "Oh, let them tank. We'll get a better draft pick." I don't know. So
That never works out for you.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not one to tank. Like, let's go for the wins. Let's have some fun. Make it good for the crowd. And something to be said about the Blues is we have not had like a top 5 draft pick, like really over the length of the career of our team.
Oh yeah,
We've always been either a good team or a middle of the road team.
never.
I think you'd have to go all the way
bottom
back
of the barrel.
Never bottom of the barrel. No,
It's kind of like
never.
the Cardinals. They're not
Right,
typically
exactly.
a bottom of the barrel type team.
No. Well, I think if you look, there's that one stat, and it shows like the last year that everybody came in last place in the National League, and like the Dodgers, like the last time they came in last place, I don't know, 1986 or something. I'm making this up.
Mhm.
And they're the last one. So like you have like the Giants and the Rockies, and they're all in the 2000s, the 2010s, and then you got the Dodgers, whatever it is, and then you got the Cardinals. You got to go like all the way back to like 1908 or something.
Is that right?
Like that. It's crazy when they were finished last in the National League.
That's pretty
Like,
nuts. I didn't know that.
Yes. Oh yeah. It is a crazy stat. The Cardinals have a couple of those. You look at like Yadier Molina, and people talk about him like, is he going to be a Hall of Fame catcher?
Oh,
Well, there's this
100%.
one crazy stat. You look over Yadier Molina's career with the Cardinals and stolen bases against a team. Well, the second to last place team had like 1,400 stolen bases over Yadier Molina's career. And Yadier Molina had like 900 stolen bases against him. Like, it is just such a drastic difference.
Not even
and you're
close.
like, right, not even close. And you're like, clearly this guy was the best. Whether people didn't steal against him or he threw him out, it doesn't matter. He clearly did something, right?
He prevented people from even attempting.
Exactly. That is exactly it.
That changes the whole game.
Yeah.
Takes a big
they have the
aspect out of the game.
second most World Series wins, most in the National League. Only behind
he was
the
probably
Yankees
one
and
of the
ahead
reasons
Dodgers.
why it was so fun to watch Cardinals baseball for such a long
Oh,
time, is because he always made it exciting. Because if there was runners on first or third, he would
when
pick
he would
them
pick
off.
people off on first base, that was the best.
Hilarious.
Him and Pools, they had a system, and it was hilarious. And the other guys just like, well, I got.
Yeah.
What just happened?
Haven't got done since like I was in grade school.
Right? Yeah.
Got me.
All right. What do you say? So we went, just the two of us. I think it's the first time we've only had just two of us. Went an
Did we hit up
hour
all your
and 12
topics?
minutes.
Topics?
Yeah. I mean, we talked about the Cardinals. We were a pretty good tangent with social media. I wouldn't say it was our most
Concise
path.
topic.
Yeah, most concise topic. But we covered a lot of ground, I think. And then by default, we did the wheel. I talked about Buffy, Firefly. The only other aspect of that was X-Files. So we're really going back to the 90s. The X-Files reboot is in motion. They've got the two main characters cast. Gillian Anderson said she read the pilot and loved it. Now she's not a part of it. It's not a
I
Mulder
can't imagine
Scully
anybody's
thing,
going to be
so
watching this show.
I guess we'll see. It's Ryan Coogler, he's the Black Panther guy, and
Okay.
he just won
the name sounds
the
familiar.
awards. What was that movie he just won all the awards for that movie with Michael B. Jordan? It's like that horror. I did not like it, actually. I couldn't
a
even
horror
get
movie?
through it. Yeah. If you just Googled it, it would pop right up. It just came out. Michael B. Jordan plays a twin, so he plays both characters. It just won the Oscar or whatever.
Let's see. Sinners?
Yeah, Sinners. Yep.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it.
Yep. Well, it's like the number one movie last year.
Really?
But I
Never
struggled
heard
with
of
it.
it.
I tried to watch it, and honestly, I couldn't do it. It wasn't my cup of tea. It was slow. I couldn't really get into it. But everybody, and maybe I just didn't give it long enough. I gave it like halfway, and I don't turn movies off very often.
Oh, I know. Usually
But I
you're
did.
like...
Yeah. I write them out.
If I turn them off, it's like maybe 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, can't
You're
do
like,
it.
well, they didn't do the big budget action scene, and so
They
I'm
didn't
done.
pull me in, so
Right.
I've been scrolling on this and I'm
Right.
bored.
Yep. That's maybe how I was with Sinners.
Have you ever walked out of a movie theater though? That's
Never.
big time.
Never.
I mean,
if I'm
you
paying
paid
for
a movie, I think
Yeah.
if you walk out, they should give you your money back though. If you're willing to leave a movie because it's that bad, you should be refunded your movie.
I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure there have been theaters that have
Yeah.
refunded them.
This movie sucks.
Yeah.
Give me my money back.
There are movies out there. There's no doubt, where you watch it. Like if I saw this in the movie theater, I may have walked out. There are some bad ones.
I remember in seeing Anaconda in the movie theater, and that
Yeah.
was one that my dad was like, "We should leave." It's like, this is bad.
There's a new Anaconda, I think.
Yeah, I know. I think they made a
coming
bunch
out
of
or
them.
Something. I don't know.
They are dumb movies. I was like,
We snuck into more movies than I've ever left.
Do you know what was your first movie you snuck into there?
I don't know if I can remember the first movie, but I definitely I remember two very distinctly. One was The Exorcist. And I think it was just me and Nate Dogg. We snuck in, and we thought for sure we were getting busted because we ended up meeting up with these two gals, these two girls, and they were probably like a year younger than us. So we probably would have been like 16 or 17. They were 15 or 16. And they also snuck in. So that's how we kind of met. And we didn't sit together. They sat in front of us. And the people started coming through with a flashlight.
Oh, yeah?
And they busted them and not Nate. We thought we were cooked, and they never came for us. So that was like
Felt like
the
such
anniversary.
lawbreakers, didn't you?
And then the other one, and this is an out there movie where we snuck in. We didn't know what we were seeing, or we had to jump into a theater. I don't remember what it was, and we didn't know we didn't know the movie. And I don't know if you were there. I think you were, and that was the movie Whipped. Do you remember that movie? It's
What was it about?
Amanda Peet, and it is a very sexual movie. It's about the three best friends that all fall in love with Amanda Peet. And
Yeah, I think I do remember that.
Yeah, it's overtly crude. That is the comedy. And
Okay.
the theater was not very busy, and all the people that were there were old, like white
Old
hair
men?
old. Yeah. And we didn't know what we were getting ourselves in. No, they were women, like married
Oh, okay.
couples, but they were all white haired. And we were like, what movie? We
What
had
are we
no
watching?
clue. And we thought it was the funniest movie that we've seen in a very long time. I still
So
think it's a great movie.
I remember the first movie I snuck into, and I think it was just me and Nate, and it was at Ronnie's.
Yeah.
And we
that's
actually-
where it always was.
We bought tickets for another movie, but then we snuck into the theater for
R-rated movie or something.
American Pie.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
And that was, it wasn't the first R-rated movie, but it was definitely the first
Yeah.
R-rated movie I snuck into.
Yeah, sure. Well, and that's the old way to do it. The classic way was you buy tickets for one movie and then you sneak into the other one.
Yeah. Which is really like you're paying money, so
right. Yeah, who cares what movie
you're
you're
just
seeing?
that's like what a kid does,
Yeah,
because they can't get
yeah.
into that movie.
Right. But we would sneak in through the side doors. You had to wait for somebody to leave, and then you sneak in, and then we'd run into the bathroom, and then we'd just wait a couple of minutes, and then you'd stroll out and you'd pick a theater or whatever. I also remember we went.
The funny thing is if you do that and it's a theater and they have empty seats, the theater's not really losing any money.
No, well, exactly.
It's a victimless
And-
crime.
It is a victimless crime. And back then, seats weren't assigned, so you just sat anywhere. But now they're assigned, so you could get bounced around a lot, if you sneak in and you're just guessing.
If there's no such thing as a victimless crime, you know that?
Yeah,
Because if there is no victim, there is no crime. So obviously, if nobody was hurt by somebody watching a movie in a theater, then there was no victim. So there was no crime. That's how you can justify it.
It's still stealing. So
Who says?
Hopefully the statute of limitations
That's what the lawman
on
says.
sneaking into movie theaters has expired.
I don't let the government tell me how to be morally good or bad.
That's right.
I see what they do, and I know that they are not. So I don't think the laws that they have in place.
That is the theme of NFNP pod, right? Don't trust the government.
I heard we got some new listeners. I hope they're enjoying the show.
Well, so the app that I use now has more capabilities. We could stream live on social media at the same time. We could go right on X and stream live.
Send your parents an email. Hey, we're getting ready to start up.
We're going live.
Going
live. You could always do it through the app, but now you can just stream it right live on all your connected social media apps. So, if we really wanted to try and get
blast
some more
it out
viewers,
to all the social media.
Yeah, that might be the way to do it. I don't know. But yeah, so my parents did find out. I don't know. They're probably going to listen to this one.
Gonna get grounded.
Yeah, I'm gonna get grounded. Yeah. Well, they just don't like me talking about my politics, and they're worried that I'm gonna get canceled or something like that.
Don't you have to be somebody to be canceled?
That's what I said first off. I'm like, who cares? I was like, we got 30 listeners at best.
I might lose them all.
And that's our best weeks. But I'm like, you know what? I very clearly label it as satire and comedy, not news.
But we know that's not true.
Oh, it's true. It's a comedic take. It's definitely satire. You might get, I don't know, you might get some of our real
This
opinions,
is the most serious podcast on the internet.
Totally. That's not satire right there.
Sarcasm.
But, yeah, sarcasm. But a family member found the podcast.
Who's that?
Randomly. A family member.
A family member of yours?
Yeah. And they called up my parents, and they're like, "What's this about?" So
like not somebody, like not your brothers.
No. My brothers know about it. Obviously, Kevin does city.
So this was a relative, just somebody that was unaware of it.
Correct.
Otherwise.
Unaware of it. Discovered
How'd they come across it?
Through social media, but what is strange
the reach is actually working.
It is actually working because my social media accounts for NFNP Pod and City SC Posse are separated from my personal accounts.
Yeah, so a firewall there.
I have no overlap. Zero.
Mm-hmm.
So
interesting how that worked out.
So it's either one or two things. It's
Are they
either
City soccer fans.
Well, yes. So it could be, but that's not the podcast that they discovered. They discovered NFNP Pod. So
the controversial one.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. And of course, my family, I'm sure like any other family, is very divided on politics. Right. So we try and let bygones be bygones.
I don't think that this is a controversial podcast anyway. This is kind of a middle of the road. This is the everyday man's take on what's going on.
Well, that is certainly how we promote this podcast, or how,
sure.
It's on the website, all that stuff.
We're working people. We have families. We, go to church and school and whatever.
Right.
We're just normal, middle class, talking about what's going on in Iran.
We might lean
Venezuela.
right, certainly, but yeah, we're not crazy right-wingers. We're not crazy left-wingers. We are probably pretty centrist, leaning right, and normal people. Mortgage.
Fiscally conservative, socially liberal.
Exactly. Yeah, that kind of a thing. Yeah. We're
the old libertarian motto.
Yeah, millennials. I don't know.
Been through 9/11.
Yes. Yeah.
We're in Iraq and Afghanistan.
We're in our 40s.
War.
Now I advertise it as 40-year-old perspectives, 20-year-old humor. That might be true, might not be true. I don't know. But
maybe.
That's how I promote
We're
it.
the last group of people that was born before a time where you were always on the internet.
Yeah, and that was originally before I kind of pivoted to the social media stuff. I was just going to do a little bit of a review of all the different generations. And, I think that is what
I told you about that
makes-
book that I read, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Did you read that too, The Fourth Turning?
I did not. I read some excerpts and did
It's a little tough to get through, but it
Yeah.
is interesting.
Yeah, I did a
Very interesting.
ChatGPT kind of a recap
Summarize.
of it when you brought
Give
it
me the
up.
Cliff Notes.
Exactly, that's what it was. But you know what? And that's a good point. We grew up with Cliff Notes.
Yeah.
So that's
actual
who we
books.
are. The actual books. So we have a really unique perspective, I think, of the world. So do the boomers, and then Gen Z, and I don't even know what the
Gen
next
X
one is.
below.
Well, Gen
millennials,
X is very similar. Well, we're geriatric millennials or whatever they call it. We kind of bridge the gap between true millennials and the Gen Xers.
I thought they were the Zennials, like the
Zennials.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. There's different words for it, but
there's like a
yeah.
span. I think it was like 79 to 85 that they say are kind of like that gap range.
81 is the start of the millennials, but you're right. I think like the Zennials is like 79 to 85, and the geriatric millennials, so your older millennials are 81 to 85 or 81 to 87, something along those lines. We grew up, we didn't have the internet until we were really in high school.
Yeah.
Right? Like that.
Yeah, like my youngest brother, he's 10 years younger than me.
Right, sure.
And he's a millennial too. But like we were raised completely differently.
Sure. Yeah.
So
well, he always had internet, right? Well, you guys were early
he doesn't
adopters.
remember a time without it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I remember begging my dad, I think somewhere around like 7th or 8th grade, to get AOL, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like begging him. Because I'm still this way. I'm a front runner and technology, and I'm an early adopter. But back then, I was all into that early stuff. And he wasn't buying it. Of course, you had to pay for it. It was extra. This was
you get 500 free hours.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, finally, once I got to high school, they bought into AOL. But then you guys all had DSL by that point.
Southwestern Bell, remember?
Right. Oh yeah. My very first computer, it was my dad's computer, was a Packard Bell. A Packard Bell. It was a great
gateways?
Computer. I do remember the gateways. Yeah. I mean, talk floppy disks. Like, obviously, you got the
Oregon Trail. Yeah.
Oregon Trail. I mean, I remember playing.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Oh,
remember that?
Great game. Caroline and I dressed up for Halloween years ago. She was pregnant. She was Where in the World was Carmen Sandiego. And she had
that was a TV show too. Remember?
It was a TV show. Yep. I think it's still a TV show. I think they brought it back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a pretty decent show, I remember.
Well, and it's good geography, good for the kids, better than social media, right? But yeah, so she was Carmen Sandiego with the globe as her belly.
Okay.
And then I dressed up as Oregon Trail, and I died of dysentery.
Of course.
Exactly. And I had the grave, and then I did the makeup, and it's one of my favorite Halloween costumes that we ever did.
That's pretty good.
So yeah, pretty good. All right, what do you say we ended there? Somehow I was like, oh, this won't be so long. We're at about an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's a good amount of time.
Yeah, it's a good amount of time. Moyer never. I just said his last name.
Couldn't guilt him in.
Edit that out. Yeah. You texted him and
no,
he said,
can,
well,
what do you call that?
I can dox him now. I can dox him now. Oops. Yeah. You said, we're waiting on you, Greg. And he said, well, you might be waiting a while. And I said, well, we're still on if you want to hop on. Like I'm sure his shower is over with, but no, I don't know. Maybe he'll listen to this episode and he'll be back in next week.
Maybe he'll just want to be a listener now.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But do we need
He'll come back.
Like
we'll bring him back as a guest.
That's really what we need to do. We need to start getting guests. That's how you expand your reach.
Yeah.
You get guests. So we got to start reaching out. I got one or two people in mind that could be good guests.
I'd like to get your studio all set up there and have an in-person,
yeah,
broadcast. That'd be fun.
We could figure that out one day too. That's for sure. All right. Well, for another day, signing off. We'll see you next week.
Later.
Bye.
number has been disconnected.